Nobody's gonna say it.
What?
Fuck it, we'll do this live.
Oh, God damn it.
Nobody's gonna say it.
We're completely out of practice. All right, boys. I'm gonna count us down. Oh, we have 50 viewers already.
Oh, look at that.
Hi, everybody. All right, here we go. We're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, was that
Welcome
for
to the show.
Audacity?
God damn fuck, you son of a bitch.
I'm good. I
Yep.
went.
All right, let me stop this.
This is why we'll
I
never
did
get
it.
monetized for YouTube.
No.
If you swear within the first 15 seconds,
It's over.
it's over. They demonetize you. So
All right,
Well,
let's
because
Let's do
people
this
think
again.
you're fucking funny.
Are we actually clicking again?
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna stop that. Okay,
Oh.
Yeah, I stopped it. I'm sorry.
hold on, let me.
B just left me. He was pissed at my little antics. Okay.
He's like, you stupid
This is
French.
very unprofessional, and he just got it.
All right. We are going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No comments. No, nothing. Okay. Welcome to the Shuffle Pod. I'm Woody.
Hey, I am George.
DJ.
And I'm Jeff.
Man,
we're
it's been
back.
a little while, guys. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been a little bit
Hot
too
minute.
long. George,
Oh,
where were you at last week? You were on a
Washington, D.C.
Nice.
Went
He had,
to
he had important business to attend
had-
to.
What were you there for?
A summit.
a summit. Yes. NAMBLA convention.
I just thought maybe it was like another potential J6.
So he was there for his hearing.
Just in case.
Yep. You dirty son of a bitch.
What were you
No,
there
we
for?
had we went on a nice vacation. It was pretty doggone fun.
So what'd you do?
Uh,
Like Smithsonian and stuff like that?
We went to the Holocaust Museum. That's
I like how you said it was pretty doggone fun. We went to the Holocaust.
Holocaust
well,
Museum.
yeah. Then that's the most emotionally draining thing I've ever done.
God,
Oh, it is rough.
Oh my god!
It
and then
is.
we tried to go to the Spy Museum after the Holocaust Museum, and the Holocaust Museum was we just walked out of the Spy Museum. We were like, we can't do this.
yeah.
And then
Oh,
took a bus tour, went to Arlington National Cemetery. It was incredible. I absolutely loved it. There is a large homeless population down there, though.
Is it?
there's a large homeless population everywhere.
Not as much as this. They are like, there was one lady that actually set her home.
Whoa, easy.
Ooh. It's
You like
like
it?
Daddy's machine is going on. It went over. Who's bright? Me?
I am.
Oh yeah, Woody. Yeah, you're.
Yeah,
very
I'm washed
flush.
out.
he's like a ghost.
Because the sun's coming right in the window, right in the
Oh.
So
So what you were saying, there
Yeah,
was
go
a
ahead.
woman that set her home up right on the.
Yeah, it was. I had to shut my phone vibrator off. She set a tent type thing on a park bench and looked like she had not left there for quite a while. It was a lot, but other than that, I did find a new January 6th place for next year, and
Nice.
we're good.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I think it's a jihad is what we call it, right?
That would be accurate for a,
Summit. Summit.
a
Oh, look,
summit.
you can't even see my little fingers 'cause they're getting in the background.
Well, I'm glad you got your computer fixed.
Was that
Yeah.
your first time to DC?
Yeah, I'd never been there.
Oh, it's
Hmm.
it's
It was
great.
unreal. We had a really nice time. We walked a
A
ton,
lot, yes,
Yeah.
dude.
but
Let me recommend next time you go. Did you hit any of the monuments on the mall?
yes,
Yeah,
went
okay.
on the last day. We ended up at the Lincoln Memorial and the World War II monument.
Yeah, I recommend everybody go
Yeah.
to DC walk the entire mall. It is amazing.
It's unreal. The way how everything just lines up completely down the line.
Yeah, it's a good time. And if you got time, hit at least some of the museums because there's so many good things to see there. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I next time we go, we're going to go to the Smithsonian, the Natural History Museum.
Right.
I hear that's really.
It is a good one.
That's the one. The Natural History Museum and the Air and Space. Those
Yeah,
are the two
I
big
was
ones.
just gonna say the Air and Space is fucking awesome. Like really, those
are the
St. Louis hanging up in there, like just all the great historical planes. So fucking cool.
See if you can get into the secret room where they keep the skeletons of the giants.
Mm,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they got
it's in the
skeletons
Natural
of
History
giants.
Museum.
and all the Egyptian artifacts that they found in the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah,
I
that's right.
love TikTok. God, these fucking things. These fucking crazy people.
No, it was awesome. So, what have you guys been up to going on?
Oh, nothing. Man.
I went on my first cruise last week.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh, that was your first cruise?
Yeah, never been on a cruise before. I was
Right,
supposed to
good
go a
time.
couple years ago, but COVID canceled it, so that was it. So it was Justin's birthday, 50th, so we went down for the cruise. Eric was invited, but he declined.
oh,
Yeah,
so Justin was 50. Did
Turned
you guys?
I bought him a cruise for his 50th birthday.
I
Planned
need
it
better
for a year.
friends.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
Woody. I just
I
had
mean,
my
did you
birthday
guys-
a couple weeks ago. and
you
I
guys
did
are
not
clearly-
get a cruise.
Yeah, you guys are clearly fucking, right?
No,
Is that-
no. No, we've just been best friends for 35 years. So this was.
Would you have
only
bought
turned
Woody
50
his
once.
cruise?
Maybe,
No.
maybe.
No.
I mean, he's
Well,
He's not that
the
good to me.
nice thing is DJ Woody and I are going on a cruise next week. So
oh
Yeah.
See, nobody invited me.
paid for by StreamYard
Of course,
sponsor.
it's a canoe on the Tusk River,
On the Tuscaroras, yep.
Tuscaroras.
and you're both paying your own fucking way.
Yeah.
You got to buy your own oar.
Yeah.
That was really cool
Not
that you
good.
bought him a cruise for his 50th birthday.
Where'd you go?
We went to Cozumel.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
We had
Fun.
like there was friends. People came with us, his sisters and some other people that we've known forever. So it was just one of those things that I decided. It was one of those where you only turn 50 once, and we're probably not going to get much more. So may as well do it.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
would've-
guys,
I would
did
have
you
loved
guys
to
go
have
on a
gone.
7-day or was it a 4-day
It
or
was a
what?
4-day.
Okay.
My wife hates cruises.
Yeah.
She hates cruises, and but the only experience she ever had was my parents went on this. We went on a cruise. My parents were there, and my dad wasn't talking to me for 3 days because I called him a name, and it was a whole thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love them. I love
Yeah.
cruises. They're a good time.
I would personally love them. I would never ever gamble the money for Tasha. She gets sick going to the mall in the car.
Oh.
I just there's no way I'm going to put up that.
Yeah,
kind
there's
of
not
money.
enough
It's-
Dramamine in the world to keep
Yeah.
her going.
No, and
So-
maybe, some people are just fine. They get car sick,
Right.
But I'm not
Right.
taking that gamble.
Right.
There's no.
So, do you think Tasha and Melissa would let you and I go on a cruise together?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, if they don't like cruises or can't handle the motions, they should just let us go together.
Hey, I turn 50 next year. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, that boat already sailed, Jeff. You already established the boundaries. So
yes. Tasha and Melissa can hang out and do what
That's
women
it.
do, like dishes.
Damn right. It's you guys. Speaking of seasickness, it was weird because I wasn't seasick, but I like the second or third day I couldn't eat for the morning because we were doing this, and I'm like, I'm starving, and every time I looked down, my stomach went, nope, don't do it.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
don't do it. I'm like, but I'm starving. So I had like an egg and a piece of toast, and that was all I could manage for the day. And then like lunchtime, I started chowing. I was fine. It was like my brain and my stomach couldn't get into sync. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't sick, but it was just
I can't imagine.
The cruise I took with George, we just stayed drunk the entire time.
oh yeah. Once I started drinking, it was so much better. Then I could eat whatever the hell I wanted. Because
Dude,
then my
that-
brain was like, oh, I know this.
That was
can do this.
insane. Did I ever tell you the cruise story?
Yes,
probably,
Except for
but
the
tell it.
card.
Have we told it on the Shuffle Pod?
With the mix up of the card.
I don't know.
No.
Oh
What
no,
was
with
that?
the lady that cleaned our room.
Oh,
Okay,
tell us.
here
But
we
let me.
go.
But let's circle back to this.
If it
'cause
wasn't international waters and there was no law, George might be arrested for exposing himself.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it was told on the air, but I do remember this. Story.
I
Go ahead.
think this.
Okay.
I think this story is one that you were like, I can't tell it on the air.
You are now though. You're in too deep.
Yeah. All right. Here's the deal.
Too deep.
First moment on the cruise, my wife goes up to the bar and starts drinking Miami Vices. Okay. And which is like a strawberry frozen pina colada. It's just, they're delicious, right? Well, she's not much of a drinker and she's obliterated. And by the time we leave port, then they have the safety briefing, right? And
I forgot about that.
Woody and I are holding her up. Woody's holding her up from the back and I'm holding her by the arm. And she's anybody that knows Jamie knows that she's not overly loud about things, right? Well, she goes to us as we're standing there and they're given the safety briefing. Did they do that on your boat?
Yeah.
Jeff?
was
Okay.
the
I
first
think they
thing you
have
did.
to do it. Yeah,
Yes,
they have to do it on every
it's
boat.
necessary. And now it's you walk in and get briefed. Like,
Yeah,
that's the
well,
first thing you do.
Jamie goes, I don't know why they're telling
This
us
is probably why they changed it.
this boat goes down. We're all going to fucking die. And they're like, ma'am, you know, like telling her to stop, please. So anyways, she's like, I have to go to bed. So I walk her back to the room and she's like, come get me at 8:00. We'll go grab a bite to eat. And I said, okay, no problem. So long story short, Woody and I go we're in international waters. It seems like in 5 minutes. Okay. So we go and do some gambling, having a drinking and stuff. Well, I go to the room to wake her up and she's like, I can't get up right now. I'm so fucking tired. I go, all right. She goes, just lay down, take a nap. We can go eat at any time. I said, deal. So I stripped down to the old birthday suit because I was having the cold sweats from drinking too much. And the room was very nice and cool. It was wonderful. I fell asleep and I woke up to my wife telling me, stay just like that. Don't move. And I'm like, what? She goes, just stay there. Don't move. And I'm in the fetal position, kind of hugging the covers a little bit. And she walks to the door and opens the door. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she slams it. She goes, just like I thought. I go, what? She goes, nothing but ass and balls. I go, what are you talking about? And she goes, there was a knock at the door while we were napping. And she goes, I was too drunk to wake up and go, you know, like occupied. And the door opens and slams. And it was the maid. Okay. So like I'm butt ass naked on top of the covers laying there. So she just saw my ass and my apple sack, right?
You know, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like,
No.
Oh no, it
you're
gets
in
worse.
your
no.
own room.
She's
Well,
probably
it gets-
seen that 4 more times that night.
It gets better. The captain's dinner
wait,
is the
real
next
quick,
night.
Jeff. Have you ever seen George's sack? Like, this isn't a weird question. because
Thank
he's
God,
shown
no.
He's
Thank
shown it
God.
to just about everybody.
Yeah, we've all seen
It
it.
probably hangs to his ankles.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, I'm not kidding.
Well,
he
now that
quits
I'm
swinging
almost
it like
50,
a pendulum.
Yeah. So anyways, for whom the bell tolls, right? So the next day is the captain's dinner. So we're all getting
Oh.
dressed. And Woody says, I'll be over in give me 15 minutes. He goes, and I'll be over. I said, okay, no problem. 5 minutes go by. I'm standing, I just got a pair of boxer briefs on and I'm right next to the door. I'm looking in the closet to grab my suit. And I hear a rap, tap, tap on the door, right? And I grab the handle and I'm like, fucking Woody. Like, you know, because I know he's always early. I
Always.
grab the door and I have my hand on the handle and I hear the bap, 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 bap on the door again. I rip the door open and I go, ah! Back to staring. And this lady goes, oh no, not again. And covers her eyes. And I go, oh, I thought you were Woody. And I slammed the door and it's the lady again. So then it goes by. We run out of toilet paper in our room. And Jamie's like, excuse me, ma'am. She goes, I'm very busy. No more, no more. And runs down the hall with her cart. So she won't do anything for us the rest of the time. So yeah, and it was.
I had to like go search up like the public restrooms and grab them toilet paper and bring it to their room.
You were their maid.
Pretty much, because they just didn't.
Do you remember
toilet paper.
After the captain's dinner, there was the towel art.
Oh yeah.
And it was supposed to be
like a seal or something like that.
A seal, but the head fell off, so it looked like a vagina, right, standing up on the
Better
bed.
than what I got.
And I go, Woody, what is that? I said, it looks like a vagina. And Woody goes, that's clearly a vagina. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe the lady liked what she saw. And he's like, no, she did not. So yeah, it was fucking great though.
We had a great service team in our hallway, like phenomenal. The woman in charge, Sunny, made the animals, whatever. Like the first day was a.
Sounds like a lady that works at the truck stop name.
Right.
Sunny.
Sunny. No, she was great. I think she was Swedish or Finnish or something. She had an accent that I didn't quite recognize, but great woman. She made everybody in our row a full person and then turned on the TV like they were watching TV. And whenever you walk in, you're like, who the fuck? Oh.
Jesus. It scared the shit out of you.
That seems like a gross.
It was hilarious.
A gross overuse of towels.
It does.
Right. Nobody else on the ship had towels because this lady's going to keep
all of them.
This lady's a sicko and makes people.
My daughter was, hanging out in the kids club, so she's wherever the whole cruise. This is like the third day, and we're meeting for dinner or getting ready for dinner. So I walk in the room and I see her sitting there next to this thing, and I'm like, "Oh, who's your? What the fuck?" I thought it was one of her friends sitting on the bed chilling out.
Towel's got its arm around her. Hey, Dad. Walking.
I was like, "What's up? This is my new husband.
Oh, this is my friend Sonny."
Hey,
Pop.
Hilarious.
Oh shit.
Call you Jeff or Dad?
Oh.
Dad's fine.
So let me ask you guys, what do you guys think of all this? What's been going on with like the balloons and all that stuff? I know DJ and I have talked quite a bit about this, and like shooting down, the original spy balloon. Does anybody doubt that that's what that was?
No.
Not at all. They've been doing it for years. I'm trying to figure out why it's all of a sudden it's news. I mean,
because the public saw it.
That's exactly right.
Okay, but my point is like they've been doing this, and so have we for
but the public
decades.
saw it.
But they've always seen it. They
became
just
a
ignored it.
national incident.
We've got TikTok and Twitter up to date now.
Okay, but we also have
spread it around.
Right, but they also saw it when 5 years ago. When
all right, let me explain this to you.
It's not different.
This is what makes it different. Why people seeing it makes a difference. Before, when it happened, they could feed it information, false information. Okay. And then, so China would use that information thinking that we didn't know it was there as it was going over. As soon as people start taking pictures of this and posting it on social media,
I'll give you that. Yeah, that's
China knows that we know it's there. So now, if we don't do something about it, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, that makes sense because I mean, we
lot
were
of people
tracking it.
A lot of people seem to think that like this whole the rest of the balloon things that those are the spores coming from the mothership.
Oh,
have we heard about this?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but the more social media we have, the more I realize, and I hope you guys realize too, there's a whole lot of fucking stupid people out there. A lot of them. And they just spread crazy bullshit and more people buy into it. And it just blows my damn mind. But the spores are real. The spores are real and they're going to kill us all. I'm just saying. I should know because I am a lizard person and they are my people. So
that is
right.
That around. And I mean, I'm sorry that you guys have to die.
Well, this is going to be one hell of a conspiracy theory podcast if we just fucking, when it was first started happening, I was DJ and I were talking about this, and I'm like, well, what if what if
this is disclosure?
Bullshit?
Yeah,
right. What if they're feeding us bullshit? That shit, is actually, some kind of alien spacecraft because we're getting so fucking close to destroying ourselves with nuclear weapons.
Right.
Like we're the closest now than we've ever been to annihilating a whole human race.
Well,
You
and
know?
this goes back to was it Gerald Ford that supposedly met with aliens? All right. Did you hear that story?
I
heard
think so.
variations.
Ford.
Like, I don't know about Ford, but I've heard stories of other
I thought it
presidents
was
that have
Ford.
met.
Was
I
it,
don't remember who it was.
God, I think it was Ford.
Yeah.
Wasn't this
Because
the Federation one?
Yeah. And it was basically because we were becoming too close to harnessing the power of the nuclear weapons and
Right.
this and that.
Well, there's all kinds of stories too about nuclear missiles shutting off after a sighting at bases. This has been going on for years and years and years.
Well, and it's almost like here's my thing. I firmly believe that this was something different than. Here's where I'll be the crazy guy. I'm convinced that this was something different than just a spy balloon. Okay. I don't believe, because had it been just a spy balloon, all right, I don't think there would have been this panic over it. There was so many conflicting reports of what people were seeing. And the fact that people weren't taking pot shots at it.
Oh, dude, it was 60,000 feet.
Yeah.
Right.
But
And
that
there
was-
were people taking pot shots.
There
It was
were.
hundreds of feet across.
Right.
Like, it was gigantic.
It was like
Yeah.
200 feet across.
And there was
See,
pictures all
that's-
over everything.
That's why I'm not sure. I don't know. I could be nuts.
There
I
were
don't-
some Congress people like encouraging people to try to shoot it down.
Well, yeah, because we have
Marjorie
idiots
Taylor,
in.
like was out there, wait till it gets over Alabama. We'll be
You
shooting at it. Blah, blah,
Remember
blah.
the stupid people I was talking about? She's
Yeah, I know.
definitely the leader of the
I know.
stupid.
It's she's somewhat extreme. I'll be honest.
that
But
woman
there
is so
were- there
stupid. I'm
were-
surprised she can breathe.
Yeah, there
Seriously.
were reports of people,
Right, people
actually
shooting at it.
in the air.
And
Like-
but the thing is it was so big that at 60,000 feet we could see it. It was the size
Right.
of what, 3 buses or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
like 200
Yeah, huge.
Okay,
feet across.
the equipment on it was the size of 3 buses. The
Yeah.
balloon itself was so much bigger.
Yeah,
So the videos that we saw, okay, how it looked oblong and this and
Right.
that. Are we? Yeah, if I move my hand like that, you can see a guitar in the background.
oh yeah.
It's like I'm a wizard. All right, it's I got to stop talking with my hands like a dirty Greek. So are they saying that was the only one we saw at that time? Because I heard there were like more sightings.
There was a couple more right after it, but they were different. They weren't that
'Cause-
large.
Right.
My problem with it was if we were going to blow it up, okay, which evidently that's what we ended up doing. Why did we not do it when we were tracking it 200 miles off of Alaska?
Because
Okay.
it was the size of 3 buses. That's why.
Well,
No,
because
no,
they
200 miles off of Alaska. He's asking.
Right.
well,
Oh,
yeah,
before
what's
it
the
got
answer?
here? Okay,
Yes.
so
Because
take
this
this,
happens
Woody?
it happens all the time,
right.
and they weren't expecting the public to see it. I think this one was bigger than most.
it wasn't that it was bigger than most. It got off of its course. It it had self-guiding,
Right.
but something messed up with that, and it didn't.
Well,
it
and they-
didn't reach its correct altitude.
Right.
There was the reports that came out. It said that it could have had a payload in it.
Yeah,
Which
That was
means-
bullshit. Payload
did have
doesn't
a
mean
payload.
a weapon. Payload means it's got.
Well, that's
something
what they
that
were
they're
afraid
using.
of.
They were-
That's
No,
That
that's
was
what
the
they were
thing.
telling the public to make the public afraid. The thing that the whole reason they didn't shoot it down originally is because they knew it was there and they were feeding it false information,
Right.
and they tapped into its communication system, was reading everything it was recording on our own so that we saw what it was, and then we
Right.
could have downed it, and we basically blocked all its transmissions, but we now know what they were looking at. So
Well-
it was a benefit to us to not shoot it down and get all that information.
So okay, and think about this, George. By the time that people saw it, that we saw it,
Yeah.
it was over land that they couldn't just
Right.
shoot down a 200-foot balloon, that it wouldn't land on something.
Mhm.
No, George asked why didn't we shoot it down
Beforehand,
it
but-
landed?
Because that was before people had saw it. Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
it
and
that's
that's the
happened.
thing. Why are we letting? Okay, this was my whole premise of the thing. either it was A, not just a balloon, or B, my question was, why are we letting people fly balloons over the United States?
Well, I think Jeff
I
just answered that.
Just
It's
told you
disinformation.
because there's no reason to shoot it down. We've got the
Yeah.
technology to block.
Let's feed it a bunch of
Right.
false
We
shit.
gave it false
Okay.
information, let it send that to China, and then we blocked its transmission and studied their balloon. So now we have information on it.
Yeah.
Rather than shoot it down and not know anything, we now can counteract it even better because we let it fly. And
Yeah, but
China
this
has
is-
nothing.
This is the top military people
Right.
making these calls. So I mean, like,
Right.
it really has nothing to do with administration.
And it's a bus-
yes, they have the ultimate call, but like
Right.
their advice is the same. You know, it's from the
Right.
top generals.
Right. And this wasn't just us. This was NORAD. This was Canada.
Mhm.
Us, like the
Well, and that was the thing is then all of a sudden, once we shoot one down, were we just committed to it and just
Yep.
like, well, let's
we
just
were
fucking
absolutely-
shoot
at
all
that
of them?
point. We were shooting things down in airspace, though. What's
over the
word?
Pacific.
No. At an altitude that was actually
Oh,
like 40,000 feet.
right.
We're
Right.
flying
Right,
through
so commercial aircraft
Right.
would
Yeah,
fly in.
it was a danger to commercial aircraft.
Okay, but okay, so now that's the point that's weird to me then, okay? Because if they constantly have been doing this, all right,
Mhm.
why is this the first reported ones that we've shot down?
I don't think radars were calibrated to see this little tiny stuff. No, well, a guy, he's an ex-intelligence guy. He said his theory on a lot of this is, this makes sense to me. It's basically like the Pacific garbage patch, you know, in the Pacific Ocean of all the
Mhm.
plastic. There's huge old weather balloons of just Mylar that get up in the
Floating
jet
around.
stream that float around forever. They're up
Yeah.
there for a decade. They just float around. You see these UFOs, these videos of these shape-shifting UFOs changing shape, twinkling, changing
Right.
color. Think of a big piece of Mylar whipping around in the wind.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and anytime you see those, they're like over Peru with a camcorder from like 1980,
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
Right.
And I guess I don't know.
Look at it this way, George. The only reason we know about the ones they shot down after the big balloon is because there was the big balloon.
Yes.
This shit is shot down all the time. Like
I don't
constantly.
know about that.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't think
no.
it was
There-
shot down.
There was one shot down like
Nah.
God, was it 5 or 6 years ago, somewhere near Ohio and I think it was West Virginia. I don't remember exactly, but it was in the news locally. It was like, oh, such and such weather balloon was shot down. They didn't know what it was, so they scrambled the fighters. It's like it's all the time. We don't know.
I told you
They
about
don't
the
tell us. They don't care.
my father-in-law telling me about the UFO when he was at Handel's Ice Cream, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love handles.
Man, it's so good. Or you mean love handles?
Love
You get love handles
both,
from eating
both.
handles.
Yes.
No, I just think that I thought, okay, here's where my craziness comes out, okay?
Give it
If
to
it's
us.
from China, all right, and now there is evidence that coronavirus did come from a lab leak, okay?
Mhm.
Why are we okay with these fucks flying stuff over our
Or
nation?
not.
because
And that's the thing is
because the lab leak, I genuinely believe it was a lab leak.
Oh, everybody does. you
I-
gotta be.
I also think it was a lab leak. It wasn't purposely
Intentional.
leaked. I
Right.
think,
right, because
a
that would have been an
worker-
act of war.
yeah, but they did it to their own town first. It spread.
Right,
out.
yeah,
It
that's-
wasn't like they released it on us. You know, it was, where was the worst cases at? It was in Wuhan. They're not
Yeah.
going to, I mean, I think a worker just, their glove ripped or something, and they
Right.
didn't tell anybody. Or
Right. This is
something,
how
and then they spread it. I mean, I don't think it was malicious.
this was literally a live action version of Outbreak
Yes.
with a less deadly
Yeah.
virus. That was it.
No,
But
you're
George,
right.
I think I can answer your question. Why do we let
Go
it fly
for it.
over? Because if it did have a payload, we don't want to shoot that down
Fuck no.
because then we're releasing the payload. We need to find out what's on it, like I said.
But that's the thing;
before
they
we
were
let it go.
tracking it for like 10 days prior to that.
Right, because
allegedly.
because we had already found out that there was no payload. There was no
We were
threat.
already sure.
There
of
was
it.
nothing it was going to do other than fly over. And
It was
people
just
got
like an
upset.
antenna
Right,
array.
that was
underneath
it.
That's
If it
all
had a payload, it would have been shot down way before.
Oh, the flat earther conspiracy people. There is no space. Those
Yeah.
people.
There's no space.
Yeah, space is completely fake.
Mm, good to know.
The payload, the antenna array on this balloon, their theory of it, it's just a satellite. These are all of our satellites. That's how all of our satellites are up in the air on weather grids. I'm like, oh my lord, these people.
Nice.
I mean, it has gone off the fucking.
How
rails.
is it with more information we have, the dumber people get? How is that
Well,
possible?
no, it's okay. And I
Do your
think
own research.
I
that's
think
why.
it's easy for us to say that people are quote unquote dumber. The problem is more things are left up to our imagination.
Yeah.
And there's more time.
Exactly where DJ was going. Yeah.
There's more time for people to make up their minds as to what was going on. Okay.
Right. They're fed so much information, then they assume the rest of it,
Yeah.
and they just come to inaccurate conclusions when they have to fill in the gaps with their own imagination.
But that's my point. Is we have the information there. Why are they filling their minds with shit that doesn't exist when we actually have the information?
But
Do
they
you wanna know
weren't
why?
telling us the
I
information.
I do because
Because
it's
they don't
driving me
understand
insane.
I'll tell you why. Because nowadays our rate of consumption, we can only take things in small bites. Someone's not going to sit there and watch a 2-hour YouTube video on how the sun works.
They're not even going to not watch the video. They're not going to read the research papers.
Right. They're going to take the 5-second clip and say, okay, the sun
Or the
comes up in the
thumbnail.
morning, or the thumbnail, yeah.
Right.
And then they're going to just try and figure the rest out.
Here's a
themselves.
good example of it. It's not exactly the same conspiracy thing. I'm at work on lunch, read the headline on Yahoo. It says, pilot from another airline takes over mid-flight after pilot has medical emergency. Okay?
Yeah.
So
What was in the article?
I click on the story. The co-pilot took over. The pilot had some kind of medical emergency. A pilot that just happened to be a passenger on the flight
Right.
came in and worked
Sat the
radio.
co-pilot seat.
Yeah, he sat in the co and worked their communications. That's what actually happened. But the headline said, but that's like Georgia said, the thumbnail.
Right.
Because now someone read that and now they're just telling people, this
did you
other
hear
pilot.
about-
It was basically the movie Airplane. Stryker came and took over.
Yeah.
That's not what happened at all. But
Landed
that's-
the plane. I got
That's
this.
what you get out of the headline. And that's the same thing with the conspiracy stuff. You read a
Well, and I
headline,
noticed like as quick as it came,
it's
it just
gone.
disappeared.
It's gone.
And
Were you getting real excited, George? Were you getting your prepping stuff ready? You were ready to go.
to be perfectly honest with you, it made me nervous as hell because
Did it?
I was like, I don't believe for a second these are just balloons, I don't know. Like I guess
He was ready.
He was excited. He's like,
He was.
"It's here! It's here!"
did I actually go and load every AR-15 magazine I have? Yes.
Yeah.
And did I put it in my chest pack? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. It's
I saw a really good prepping tool. Woody and I talked about it on the phone the other day.
what's that?
This guy has the most ingenious. I don't know who he is. He's on TikTok. He's just like a prepper, just basic stuff to get ready. On Amazon, you can buy. He actually had it wrong. He said it's about $30 and there's like 18 of them or something. I found one for $22 and it has 38 keys on it. It's a key ring of 38 keys. And it will basically start every piece of heavy equipment.
Right. So it's a cat key, Heister forklift key, because they're
all the same.
a John Deere.
I have a cat key because I have
Yeah.
cat padlocks.
May I burst your bubble real quick?
What?
They don't use keys anymore. They're all electronic.
No, they don't.
No, we do. Our Heisters, like our forklifts and stuff like that, you have to have a key to turn
Jeff,
it on.
only the brand new ones, and hardly any company.
The ones they've been this way for like 15 years. You got to find an old one to not have a punch code to start it.
No, you don't. They're
Yes.
almost all of them.
I drove them 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
So did I. That was my job.
Oh, maybe a forklift? Okay, but that's
No,
different.
he drove
No.
a big dump truck.
Excavators, dump trucks, bulldozers, all that
You
shit.
guys had some old shit because everything that's made in the past 15, 20 years of all, well, there might be a couple, but most of them are key codes.
I don't know, man. Nothing I see.
Well, they also tell you those the Crescent water keys. You ever have see those?
That was another thing that guy.
That
brought
was
up.
another thing he did. Yeah,
Yeah, those
You have
those
them?
are nice to have. What are they called? Seal cocks or something like that?
something like that.
Pet
Not-
cocks.
Cocks from seals, but
No, pet
seal
cock.
cock.
Yes.
I carried around a seal cock, and people were like, "What are you doing?" I was putting it
Just
on
in
In
people's
case of
gardens.
emergencies.
Ah,
In case
I
I'm dehydrated.
I'd
What?
smack it over across my face. It's just getting the fluid running. No, but no, there's a bunch of really cool stuff. Like if you guys want to listen to a good prepping podcast that's kind of light, on the craziness, it's the Casual Preppers.
It's the less crazy one.
They're fantastic.
Can-
They're absolutely fantastic.
I know we've done this before, but can I ask just what are you prepping for?
2
Anything.
weeks,
Banking collapse,
2 week emergency.
meteor.
Look what okay, and this is the
Zombie.
thing, Jeff. Anything over 2 weeks, traditionally, FEMA's, obviously you're going to get help from the government, okay? But look at when Texas had their ice storm and they lost power for 10 days.
Right.
Look how many deaths there were. Okay. If you don't, and this is the thing, there are people that are like extreme end of days.
That's kind
preppers
of what I'm
and this
getting
and
at
that.
too.
Well, and I think that's why prepping gets a bad name, is
Right.
because for every crazy extremist, you have people that take precautions. Like I rotate my canned food out, and
Right.
my yaya back in the 80s had a can pantry. All of our parents did because they came.
I
all
do.
of our grandparents did because they came from
Right.
the Great Depression.
Right.
And those that prepped
Mhm.
and had extra cans and flour and this and that, they survived. Okay.
Right.
And that's
See,
that's basically all I do
and-
is keep 20 pounds of rice on
Right.
hand,
That's kind
dried
of why I'm
beans.
asking. That to me isn't prepping. That's just being prepared for, everyday living. That's not prepping. To me, when I hear prepping, I think you've got a bunker in your backyard. You've got 15 years worth of food
Right.
stashed down there. You've got
It's-
that
it-
makes no sense to me. That you will never use that.
but
Even if
that's
there's
that's
a
the same
nuclear
thing
war,
with
it's not gonna
every
help.
extreme,
Right.
one way or another,
I got the answer.
What?
A lot of rentals use key codes.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, that
There
makes
you
So
sense.
when you go see a building being built or a grocery store being worked on, and there's 2 excavators and a bulldozer and a
Mm-hmm.
steamroller or whatever in the parking lot, they're not key coded.
Because
So
they're
basically,
owned
what this
by-
guy's saying is, you have a key to these things, and you basically there's your prepping, because George has 20 pounds of rice. Well, now I do, because I just tore his house down with an excavator.
Cool. How are you
I'm
going to feel
digging that
them?
rice out of his basement.
That's
you know?
kind of freaking awesome.
But I mean, that's
where,
really,
where are you going to get the fuel?
it's all over the place. The drive down the street, those excavators and bulldozers, little job sites are absolutely everywhere, and almost all of them have a tech. Almost all of them. I'm not saying you're going to use this particular small site that they're building a home in forever. You're going
Right.
to use that up in a week, but they're everywhere, and not that many people have keys for this shit. So it's just going to be sitting there.
There you
That's
go.
a really good idea.
Everywhere you go,
Well, I'm going to have one tomorrow.
just look over in North Canton. North Canton right now, they're building, what is that, new Meyer or whatever
Yeah.
it is?
Yeah.
Look how much is just sitting there.
Look how much timber they took.
Oh my god.
I did not realize
I didn't
there
either.
was that much wood around the old Kmart.
That's
Wow.
what she said.
Dude, there is like,
I've seen deer out there before.
Right.
now.
is it 20 feet tall?
Oh, it's
Mounds of,
way taller than that.
it's huge. It's
Did
unreal.
they deforest the place to put in a
Oh.
Walmart or something?
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh.
I think they're putting in a Meyer, I think.
That's like
Yeah.
there's a spot near me in Seven Hills or Independence by the highway that they deforested this whole like 20-acre area to put something in, and then the plans backed out. So now there's this just empty land that nobody's ever going to use. Like that
That'll
like-
build condos.
But
Fucking
like
brilliant.
that site, George, that site alone, you've got excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks. You have everything sitting over there. I've seen fuel tanks. They have the
Yeah.
on-site fuel tanks. And then across the street,
There you go. That's why I asked the question.
Acme, Mark's, all a bunch of fast food restaurants, so they have food in them. You know, anything really bad happens, you take one of your keys, you go over there, you just grab a excavator or a bulldozer, and you
Yeah.
just drive it across the street and take out the corner of the grocery store.
And honestly, until like this whole Ukraine thing started going down, I thought George was a little crazy on this prepping stuff. I honestly did. Like I thought, okay, well, if that's your hobby, it's what you want to do. You know, I'm not going to make fun of you for it. But I thought you were a little on the crazy side. My brother's the same way. He's does that. Stocks up his basement with a bunch of stuff like that. But if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next 10 years. We're so goddamn close. China's on the verge of collapse because of their population and their economy. Russia's on the verge of collapse because they have the same problem. They have too many old people and not enough young people. And people said that about how it was going to be like that with us, with the baby boomers. We're in the best shape of any other country in this world as far as our population pyramid goes.
Right.
China is so opposite that their society is about to collapse. So
you're never hearing that, Woody. That's something that I think is not being told to the American people as much. What you're saying, because I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
this-
something that's not being told.
So the reason why I think that actually makes it like to where there might be a chance of a nuclear attack is because you've got people like Putin who's down to his last. He's going to use every tool in his toolbox to win this war. Before,
You just gotta hope his generals don't listen. You know,
Right.
That's exactly right. Before they pull him out of there and kill him.
Right.
And same thing with the leader of China. Like it's going to happen.
Who just won another election?
You know, well, he made it so that he is leader for life. He's taken elections out of the Chinese government political structure.
I know that, but he like 2 weeks ago won another election quotes. Even
Right.
though same with Putin. Putin is literally ineligible to be president, and what he did was he stepped down his last term. They elected one of his cronies, who then changed the law so that Putin could be elected again.
Well, see, and that's the thing is the other thing that gets lost in this is that Russia has the gross national product, GNP. Is that what it's called?
GDP.
Yeah, I think so.
GDP.
That's gross domestic product. Yeah.
As
For them, that would be domestic. Yeah.
it's the same size as Texas. So their economy is shit. And that's
Right now, yeah.
Yeah,
Because of the boycotts. And that's the only thing that's keeping China from annexing Taiwan is that they're worried that they're going to get all those trade what do they call it when you're not allowed to
Tariffs.
buy from
tariffs and
yeah.
sanctions. Yeah.
Right, sanctions. Right, that they're worried that if the world sanctions them, like we've sanctioned Russia,
Mhm.
you know, they're done. They're absolutely done for because they make a lot of like agricultural products, but they need the fertilizer from other countries to make
From the
those
Ukraine
products.
actually was
Yeah.
the leader in that fertilization.
With the nitride, what is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's
No, I
the
think-
world's in a crazy spot right now, and we're so close to like someone saying just do it, hit the button, you know. And once that happens, it's
Well, and here's the thing, and this is what my mindset is realistically, any one of us can survive for a week based on what we have in our pantry, what's in the fridge. You know, you're going to have to cook it all up anyways and stuff, but everything that you have on hand, okay, you can put in coolers and this and that and add ice, and you can save what's in your fridge. You're going to be able to go a week if the grocery store's shut down. Okay. If we have a giant power outage and nothing's open,
Right.
what comes after that is the thing is where your preparation becomes paramount. And if that's the case, if the majority of people have not taken those preps to extend 2 weeks, okay? And that's basically my thing is I want to make it 2 weeks, okay? So if that means I have to have another week to 10 days of food on storage or whatnot, then I'm going to have that. But you have to also be able to defend that. And that's something that also gets a bad name, okay? Is you're going to have to, like, my brother makes fun of me about being a gun toucher and everything else, okay?
Gun toucher. Oh, I like that.
All right.
I like that word.
But he came to me during the pandemic and needed ammo so he could have enough to protect his family. And so that's the thing is you're going to have people coming to you in the time of need if they know that you have it. So you need to make sure that you have enough for yourself, and you have to be able to say no to people, but you're not going to do that to your very close friends and your family.
You
Right. Just
will
like-
if it's
just like
really
what-
going down.
Just like what Jeff said, there's a line. Like he would absolutely do that for Justin, but Woody,
Yeah.
Right. What are
That's
you
not what
getting
I
those
said.
bullets?
I'm just
fact-
messing with you, Jeff.
In fact, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I've said that I've already got shit started. I've got solar panels. I just need my batteries. You know, I've got stuff going on here that you guys could use. So bring your stuff. We'll get together. I've got a huge thing.
He
Huge.
just wants us for our meat.
That's it.
No, he knows that he's turning 50 next year, and I've got a whole nother year for that. So he wants a cruise out of me next year.
No, Jeff's all skinny.
Maybe
he
I'll buy
knows-
you a
he
cruise
knows
for
we're
50,
all
Woody. We'll
fat,
see
and
where
he's
we're
like,
at.
Come on up. Come on up.
You guys, yeah.
It's
Like,
like
can use my shit.
just step into this pen over. I mean, this
Yeah.
room over here.
He's going to just shave off a little bit of back fat on me. Just
Yeah.
he's like, I'm just doing
Just
some,
enough.
just for some bacon.
It'll be like in
I
the
get
road. He'll have us
Yeah.
in a room. He'll freaking cut off our limbs.
I'll have a
Just to keep the
taco
meat
truck.
fresh.
Like, come on up.
He'll cauterize the
Share
wound.
some ammo for some meat tacos.
Yeah, it'll be horrible.
No, I think if you have a family and you have a plan as a family, that's going to garner your success. Or I'm sorry, maybe not guarantee it. It's going to up your chances. And that's the thing. Listen, if we go to war and we have an all-out nuclear war,
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
we're dead.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Because with us being on one of the top 5 areas to be hit,
Well-
Northeast Ohio, because of the Great Lakes and the power
Shipping
plants
and
and
all
all
that,
that stuff.
And the
Yeah,
fact that
it's-
we have nuclear silos.
Yeah, we've got the silos. Even
Yeah.
my work, we make parts for the fighter jets. Things like that. All that kind of shit is on targets. I mean,
Yeah.
Ravenna alone is a big
Mm.
fucking target.
Which that is a place that kind of just eerily falls by the wayside. Nobody talks about the Ravenna Arsenal and stuff.
Well,
It's
they
a
were-
pretty damn important
I saw a
logistic.
thing with nuclear sponge. Has anybody heard about this?
No.
It's
Yeah,
got-
I have.
it's crazy. That's why it's developed all through like Wyoming and Montana.
right.
It's disposable land.
Yeah.
They built the missiles out there
No shit.
in order to draw Russia's missiles incoming attack to try to stay away from the big cities.
To minimize the
Right.
amount of casualties
So they're
because
gonna
there's
they're
no
gonna-
people out there.
Yeah, they're
Right.
going to absorb all the damage
Like
because-
Wyoming type
Yes.
stuff.
because Russia has to attack those sites first to
Right.
try to disarm us. And there's way less people out there. Oh, there are people out there. It's pretty shitty to say that, but but
We're not all
But
going to live.
it's that whole thing. You kill 100 people or kill 100 million.
yeah, it was designed that
it's-
way. It was actually called the nuclear sponge.
Yeah.
Absorb
See,
the
and that's-
damage. Like
That's
fucked
why
up.
I know people knock the United States, like to say that we're the weakest we've ever been and everything else. There's a reason we haven't been invaded,
I wouldn't say we're the weakest we've ever been, but we're getting away from this whole mentality of policing the world. The reason why we did that, why we after World War II, we brought all these countries in that all these European countries in that thought we were going to just take them over, because that's what countries did back then.
Yeah.
Is once they were defeated, and another country came in and stepped in and kicked out the bad guys. They took that country over. That's why
Kinda like
England
we
was
did
so
in the
large.
Ukraine.
Right. Well, not really. I mean, we set up a puppet government, but we set up a government.
Yeah.
But what we did at the end of World War II is we called all those people in, all these countries in, and we're like, listen, we don't want your country. We don't want to be there. We want trade. We're going to open up our markets to the world.
Yep.
We're going to police the shipping lanes and all that to make sure that that you can get your commerce to and from us and just global market. We're going to make this giant global market. And just recently, we've been pulling away from that. We're not going to be the world police anymore.
But actually, though, Woody, I kind of disagree. We've fought a proxy war so far with the Ukraine, and also a proxy war with China right now because of in North Korea. So all the major threats that we have, we're still involved in. We're just maybe becoming not quieter about it, but less in your face. We're not putting boots on the ground to fight the war on terror right now. And that's the big difference.
You mean the
You're
fake
right.
war from 20 years?
It's not the US, it's the UN.
Right.
Okay.
But it is the US, because in the United Nations, NATO, we're literally the only country that meets our quota.
Right.
When it comes to how much we pay in, and
you're absolutely right about that, but that's changing. Look at all of these countries that see this stuff with Russia going into trying to take over the Ukraine. Now they're building up they've all these like Poland and Germany and France have decided, okay, we need to step up how much we spend on our military budget every year because of shit like this.
Right.
True, and which basically tells me that we're probably going to end up in a war. It's.
Oh, we've been headed towards war since Bush. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but Bush, little Bush, not big Bush, was trying to go to war with China before we were hit on 9/11. That diverted to the Middle East instead of China. And then ever since then, the big, what do we call it? The military, whatever, all Blacklick and all these fucking companies that we pay billions of dollars a year for absolutely nothing, have been trying to get into China because they know that would be the largest war ever, and it will last for fucking the rest of all of their kids' lives, and they'll never have to worry about money again. That was the plan.
I don't know. I think I tend to agree with you in a way, okay? But where I kind of disagree with you on that is I'm not 100% sure it would be the longest war, because I'm not 100% sure how powerful Russia and China are as allies.
Well, that's because our government has been telling us for years how weak they are.
Here's the deal.
No, it's the other way around.
You take Russia and China. Oh, go ahead, Woody.
No, I was just going to say that it's the other way around. We thought that Russia was this giant military complex that was
in the
just
Cold War,
because that's what we were told by our government.
Right, that was the information our government was giving to us.
Right.
We just found out that they're falling apart.
Right.
They can't hold it together.
And that's my point. That's what they knew. So we can go into China and just take all the time we want. I'm not saying they would be a great fight. I'm saying it would be an extremely long battle because they couldn't do anything to stop us. And we want to make war because it's money for our politicians.
I see all these comparisons of, nobody can take us individually. But if China and Russia teamed up, I keep seeing this. Well,
okay.
Combined, they have more this than us. They have more of this. Yeah, but what they're not saying, they wouldn't be the only ones teaming up.
Right, but we have a larger military than everybody else in the world.
No,
combined.
I know, but I'm saying we wouldn't be by ourselves.
Right.
Correct.
Because we got NATO.
That's why we have NATO and the United Nations and
Yeah.
stuff
And
like
that's
that.
why it's important for us to put money into the Ukraine war.
Right.
We
Yes.
need to because what that did was that made Sweden, who's been sitting on the fence for 150
Right.
years,
Uh,
pick a side.
Yep.
You know, and all the rest of those Eastern European countries are going the same way. They're like,
Right.
shit. If I don't get on one side or the other, I'm going to get bowled over. At least on this side, I get a say in my political. You know, and you know, if I go with the
Lego
Russian side,
building, IKEA,
Yeah.
shopping fucks.
And for the record, all the money that we've put into the Ukraine war, we haven't spent a fucking dime, a new cent at all. We've sent them all shit that we've already set aside that we no longer use. That
Bullshit.
we've made. No,
we
it's all
still
stuff,
use javelin missiles and
but it's all old stuff that we've replaced. They're just sending more.
But we
out.
bought it, and that's the thing. And
I know,
this is,
and if
this
we
is
don't
where
give it
I
to them, it
take
just
issue with
sits.
it.
This is the thing I'm saying.
We had to. It wasn't fucking free 10 years ago when we
Right.
got it.
I know. I agree with that. But
So
my
it
point
is
is,
our
it's
tax
already
money.
been spent. It's already been spent. We're spending money on new shit that's replacing it. You see what I'm saying?
You know
Like,
how many
I
billions
agree we spent
of
money on it
aid,
before, but
just raw money have we given them at that
A
point?
lot.
as far as I'm aware, raw just money.
It's
None
in
that I'm
our
aware of.
it's in our national.
oh no, a
interest.
lot.
Have we?
It's
been-
absolutely in our national
It's
interest.
been billions.
As far
Yeah.
everything I've read said we haven't given them any actual money because it's worthless to them right now. We've given them aid as far
Well,
as
I think what we've done is in our intervention is shown the world that Russia is not quite as powerful as what people thought. And I think,
Absolutely.
Woody, I think that's what you were getting at.
Yep.
Well, right, but here's the big but in the situation. It's about there's a new chapter that's about to be written very, very soon. Russia is going to send that. This is how Russia deals with every war. They don't have the training and they don't have the capability of fighting an intelligent war. They throw bodies at it and they just throw and throw and throw. For you, there's a study done and like for Ukraine to just hold their ground right now, they have to fight. They have to 8 Russian deaths to every Ukrainian death, 8-1. Okay, and Russia's about to swarm the country with
Right.
500,000 more people. 200,000 people they know have died so far on the Russian side. They think about 200,000, and they're about to send 500,000 more. I mean,
And here's the
there's a
thing.
good possibility that they are just going to walk right through that land. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and here's
It'll-
the thing: if we don't stop them in Ukraine, they're gonna walk right through to Belarus next,
Yeah,
and then they're just going to
Poland.
keep going. Poland, they're just
See,
And if
but
they
the
go to
moment-
Poland, that's the problem.
That's
Is
it.
because
That's
they're a
the
NATO
part.
nation.
Yep.
Yes.
We have to step in at that point in time.
Yeah.
Then there is no doubt there'll be an exchange of nuclear weapons.
Well,
Yeah.
and we just transported, what was it? Was it 100,000 troops to the Eastern Front now?
of Syria.
Right.
Was it?
But
I didn't hear this.
Yeah, I guess we were basically on the east side of Russia, whichever country is to the east. I'm not. We sent over, I think it was 50,000 or 100,000 troops. I could be off on the number. We sent a
Canada's
mass
east
of
of
troops
Russia.
over to hold just that front, just to
Right.
basically be like, you're not going any farther than this.
I believe it was Syria. I could be wrong because
You
I
might
heard
be
we-
right. Yeah.
I heard we did drone strikes as well because they were attacking that front, and
Yeah.
they were. I think it is. I'm
We
not sure.
basically
Well, they-
jumped in anywhere that Russia's fighting because
Right.
we want to defeat Russia.
Well, and that was the whole thing where they were trying to dump fuel on our drone.
Right? Yes.
And stuff.
Yes. So we retaliated and shot some of their drones down.
Yeah. I
Or
don't
their
know, man.
pilot, whatever.
I think it's the more I sit here and listen to you guys talk, the more I can kind of come to grips with it. It may be quite a while. We may it may be in our best interest to drag it out.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm finally starting to come to the realization that maybe you're right. Like it's not about outlasting a nuclear war. It's about being comfortable for those 2 weeks. It's really that's what you're prepping for is your level of comfort. We're probably if the power went out, we would all make it through 2 weeks. We're
Yep.
going to. It's just how comfortable we're going to be in that
Correct.
situation. And honestly, right now, George is going to be the most comfortable of all of us. You
Well,
know?
it would have to be. It would have to be a pretty big. It would have to be like a regional power outage because
It's happened before.
Yeah.
I think, but I
Yeah.
think all of us have some type of safety net outside of our direct region where we could go in an absolute emergency.
Sure. And
That's your house, DJ. That's my safety net.
Well, we all live. Honestly, God, we all live enough apart.
Right.
Where,
Yeah.
But you also have
And
to
that's-
realize that, speaking as someone who did have to get out of an area that was under this type of situation, it's really difficult because everybody's doing it. You don't have the
Mhm.
ability to get fuel because there's no power.
Right.
You
right,
have
right.
to have enough to get to. I had to go from Huntsville into Tennessee during the tornadoes that went through there those years ago, 2007 or 8 or whatever it was. I was lucky enough to have enough fuel to get more fuel. It was close. So,
Okay.
I mean, you're right. You've got it. There's somewhere you can go, but you don't
But
know if you're
then-
gonna make it.
but that person that you're relying on,
Right.
you're relying on them to make the necessary preparations.
Right.
Right. So DJ, you need to start prepping.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have a place
No,
to
but
go.
what I mean, George,
Right.
is like,
I'll be at George's.
let's say we lose power in this whole little area here.
Sure.
I can go up to my sister's house. You know, she doesn't have to
Right.
prep because they have power.
Right.
That's what I meant. Like,
Right.
No.
if it
I get
affects
that.
everybody, yeah.
But what was it? 93. The was it a third of the East Coast went out?
No, that was later than that.
Yeah,
It was much later than that. Yeah, it was when I was
90,
out of
in
high
the
school.
it was 99. 'cause
No, it
was
wasn't
not,
even 99. It was when I was living down here, so it
Or was
was
it 03?
2000. It was 03, I think.
That's why I got
Okay.
the 3 in my mind. Then.
Yeah, because it was
I thought it was
was
before
when the,
Y2K, but you're right.
what was it? Niagara Falls. That power grid went
Yep.
down, and
Yep.
we were
And
all
they-
down for days.
The whole
and they
Eastern
simulated-
seaboard.
Yeah,
They were doing a simulation. Is from what I heard. Is they were doing a test to see if our power grid went down, what would happen, and how fast they could recoup it. And then from that point forward, we reinvested in our power grid because we realized it was shit. You know,
Yeah.
there's a reason why we're only doing, what is it, a 200 mega a gig or whatever for our internet, and the rest of the world has been on, you know, way more
Right.
than what we were. It's because our power grid sucked. But we have a better highway system than anybody else. But the problem is the power grid. It was the big issue, supposedly. So
Still is. Honestly, we still have
Yeah.
a terrible grid. It's just
less
nobody's
terrible.
spending money in it.
it's just less terrible.
It's
All right,
a-
guys, we're out of time. This has been fun though. This is we've been a little while since we all kind of got together.
It was. I'm on a new schedule. It's every third weekend I work now. So I
All
work
right.
next weekend that I'm off to.
Woo! More
All right.
shows.
So we're
You
back,
heard it here
baby.
first.
So next weekend I'm out, but beyond that,
Yeah, well,
Okay.
tentatively plan. I don't like to make plans because we never keep them when we do. So-
Exactly.
All
All right,
right.
shall we end it, everybody?
Peace.
I think so.
Peace.
Till next
All
time,
right,
boys.
man.
Later.
Later.
Later, Gator. All right, so we're exporting, and what number are we?
You can shut
You
off the
wanna
live
stop
now.
the live? Yeah.
Yes, hold on here.